Hello rainbows, welcome back to my channel. New year, and yes, new hair. It feels actually so good to be back on the rainbow side of things. Like, this is where the whole rainbows thing even started from. So yes, loving it. So today's video, I actually have a hair tutorial for you guys. I'm going to be showing you guys six or seven, I don't know, multiple ways that you can use a hair straightener that does not include straightening your hair. So these are all different kind of curling techniques, different ways to get waves, just different ways to use your standard hair straightener that you might not have thought of. I know. I'm sharing all the tricks of the trade with you guys today. So today I am using the Silver Bullet. This was actually sent to me by Dateline Imports. Thank you guys so much. I will have links down in the description box below for you guys. So this is actually their titanium infrared straightening iron. I really like this because it does have different heat settings. So depending on what type of curls you're doing, depending on what type of hair texture you have or the condition of your hair, you can actually alter the temperature to suit what you're doing. So I think that's really good to help protect your hair and stop it from basically frying off, pretty much. This has been gifted to me, but this is not in any way a sponsored video. I'm not being paid to promote this. I am just going to be doing some more hair tutorials for you guys because you've been asking and requesting them. And because I'm back hairdressing, I thought, why not? I'd love you guys to subscribe. It would really mean the world to me, help my channel grow. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it and leave me a comment. I love chatting with you guys. I am working tonight, so I do need to obviously have my hair done for work. I've already got heat protection in there and I've already brushed it. It's like a first, hey. So what I'm going to do is just show you guys firstly basic kind of curls. These are curls that I would do in clients' hair if clients came into the salon and they wanted just curls, really. So this is more of a wider kind of plate. Depending on the thickness of the iron will depend on what kind of curls you get. So I do like to work in more kind of finer sections, and basically all I do is put it in the hair, twist 180 degrees and then pull out. It is so easy. That sounded really dirty, sorry. So here we are, twisting, and then you glide it down just like how you're curling a ribbon with scissors, you know what I mean? And voila, there you have a curl. So that one did go kind of towards the face. A really good way of creating some kind of tousled, textured hair in a way, especially for like shorter to medium length hair, is to do one curl one way and then one curl the opposite way. So this curl went this way, twisting towards the face. So now if I put it in and go this way, twisting away from the face, it's going to create a different kind of texture. So still very similar, turn it 180 degrees and pull down. So that way you've got one curl going towards, one curl going away. And if you alternate that throughout your whole head, it gives this really cool texture to your hair. Even if you do have really long hair, it will still do exactly the same and give you this really cool texture. Another thing that is really popular, and I have a lot of clients ask for this, is to have the ends left out straight. So I would still go in and do exactly the same technique, one curling away, one curling towards, but when we get to those ends of the hair, you basically just stop. And that way it gives you that kind of curl, but you have more of that straighter end, which once you've layered it in with all of the hair, it just looks really cool, kind of undone, beachy, messy, carefree in a way, but obviously it's been styled. Like, it's awesome. I love it. So I would say that is kind of the standard type curl. These curls look amazing once you've done the whole hair. Run your fingers through it or rub some serum into your hands and rub that all through the hair. It just looks glossy and beautiful. Another technique for these kind of curls is if you actually curl them all in the same direction, so you don't alternate directions, and then once you brush that out, it gives you this gorgeous, almost like a finger wave movement throughout the hair, like those 50s kind of hairstyles. You can create them with straighteners. It's amazing. All right, so I've moved down a section of hair, so we've got some fresh hair for you guys.
Come in.
How's your pasta? Is it yummy? Are you finished? You finished your pasta? No, we're not touching this one. All right, I'm gonna put little Poppet to bed and then I will be back. Have you finished? Finished? Done? Okay, let's go and get you to bed, sausage. Yes, bedtime.
No!
Yes. Wish me luck. Okay, so another way that you guys can do curls with a straightening iron is very, very similar to the previous way. But instead of only turning like 180 degrees and sliding, you basically continue turning as you're sliding down the hair. And what happens is the hair almost like wraps its way up around this end of the irons, obviously depending on the length of your hair. This one can be a little bit more tricky because you kind of need to maneuver a little bit more. So I do find the first one I showed you to be a little bit more user-friendly if you're doing your own hair. But basically this just gives you more of a tighter curl. It's not so soft and undone. Obviously you can still brush it out, but it just gives you more of that kind of tighter curl. So I'm basically continuing, and you see how it's wrapping up the iron. So I do that until the hair just comes out at the end, and voila. So this is definitely more of a sausage ringlety kind of curl. And you, as I said, you can still run your hands through it and soften your hair out that way afterwards. And of course, you can do it in alternating directions as well, but I find it usually easier to just go in the one direction when I'm doing it on my own hair. So I feel like these curls give you more the closest kind of curl to a curling wand. Still, I like to work in smaller sections. Heat protection, as I said, is a must. And you want to keep the hair moving on the irons. You don't want to just clamp it down in one spot because that's how you end up singeing off your hair. And just to put a spanner in the works, another thing that can alter the curl or make the curl end up different is how you have the iron resting in your hair. If you put it in this way, curl down, it will vary as opposed to having it this way and curling acrosswards. So just have a play and see how it works for you. See what kind of curls you end up with. Majority of the time I like to have mine in almost on an angle between having it vertical or between having it horizontal. I think just in between makes it a little bit easier, makes the curls glide a little bit more, makes it easier to use the iron as well. So another thing that you guys can do with a straightening iron is actually create more of that 50s glamour kind of wave. I've seen this floating around a lot on Instagram. I haven't had the pleasure of doing it fully in someone's hair yet, but I really want to do it. This one is a little bit more tricky and it does work better in longer lengths of hair. So you place it in, you twist, pull down, and then basically twist it around this way and pull down. Undo it and repeat. So it does work better with longer lengths of hair, but basically what you end up with is this gorgeous kind of wave and movement throughout the hair. It's almost like pin curls in a way, but the cheats version. So I'll show you guys again. Irons in, rotate, pull down, and then you curl it the opposite way, like this, almost like a splice between this pull down version and the curls that I've already showed you. Okay, so it gives you this more vintage feel. But I think this one is the one that I've had the least amount of practice with. It's the one that I want to try and work with a little bit more. And of course, doing it in someone else's hair, a million times easier than trying to do it in your own. Yeah, because I think I'm screwing it up, but it's fine. So this next technique I think is kind of similar. The last curl I did is a splice between the first technique and this new technique that I'm going to show you guys. Probably should have done this one first, but that's okay. So basically all I'm going to do with this one is create like a water wave. They would call these water wave technique in a way. And I find this really nice to mix in between doing some normal curls as well. It just gives you this real beachy kind of texture. Of course, this wave on its own is very, very similar to like those mermaid waves that you see. You see those mermaid tools getting around? This is really, really similar. You can create this with a hair straightener. Of course, depending on the width of your straightener will depend on how it looks in your hair as well. So basically what you want to do, irons in horizontally, twist all the way down this way, and you can twist down a little bit, rotate all the way opposite way and pull down, rotate all the way down this way, pull down, rotate all the way this way, pull down. I just try and get my ends to go downwards if I can, and look at that, like literally you've created a mermaid wave without having to spend heaps of money on the tool to do it. You can do it with this. Seriously, it's that easy. It's a lot quicker, honestly, than having to clamp millions of different sections. So another way that you can use a straightening iron, and I don't recommend this way, I don't think it is really that practical, but basically what you need is something that isn't going to react too badly to heat. You will wrap your hair around this particular item. Please don't do it to your finger. This is just an example. Wrap your hair around it and then grab your irons and basically clamp them on. And then once you let go, you'll have like this tight curl in that position. I'm not going to show you because it takes so long, and I actually don't think it's really that safe unless you have something correct to use it. I've seen people do it with pencils. I've seen people do it with like metal straws. I mean, ouch. And it's going to be more damaging on your hair that way as well. So it is another way that you can use a straightening iron. So this next one is, I guess, not as practical to use because it takes so much time, but what you can also do is sculpt your hair into certain patterns, and it feels quite dodgy doing it in my own hair, like a finger wave, and then run the irons down it as you go, and that way it's going to clamp. So as you see, I'm not gliding the iron, I'm literally undoing it and re-clamping. So this one does introduce a lot more heat in your hair. You need to be careful, but that way you can create these kind of waves throughout your hair. This is a lot easier to do on other people than it is to do on yourself. There's a higher chance of you burning your hair, burning your fingers, so just bear that in mind. But I think it is a really cool technique, and depending what you're doing it for, if you're doing like a photo shoot, a lot of editorial kind of stuff will do techniques like this. But remember, try not to leave it clamped on your hair for as long. Keep the irons moving if you can. But yeah, I think it just is a worthy one to show you guys, because it's good to have a technique like this in your arsenal depending on what you're doing, and I think it just gives it this different kind of movement, and you wouldn't have thought that you could do it with an iron when you can. Yes. So another thing you can do is, if you are wanting your hair straight but you're wanting the ends to flick out, or you're wanting the ends to curl under, you can definitely do, all you need to really do is just alter which direction you're doing it at the end. So if I wanted all this part of my hair to be smooth but the ends just to flick up, simple. So all you need to do is just smooth it out, and then as you go to the ends, flick it back, and that's just gonna give you more of a even undone kind of textured look. If you've got lots of long layers throughout your hair, something like this could be really, really fun, just to give you that little bit more movement throughout the ends of your hair without all of your hair being curly. Especially if you find that curls don't last in your hair, I think this is just a more subtle, softer way to give you some more movement, and it's not going to look strange if all the curls drop in a way, because it's just like, oh, it's meant to be like that, you know what I mean? You can also do the same with curling under. One thing as well, if you've made a mistake, sorry, I'm just curling under like this, see? And that will work really, really well if you've got like a bob and you just want to smooth in those edges. One thing as well, do not try to restyle a piece of hair while it's still hot. So because I've just done this fringe, it's still warm. If I go in and try and redo it while it's still warm, it's not going to work for you. You want to just leave it alone till it cools down and then go back to it, because it just makes your life 1,000,000 times easier. Hey Rainbows, so I did recently just find one extra technique that I wanted to share with you guys. Don't mind the no makeup. I look sexy, hey? So this is another curling technique. I think it's very similar to the very first one that I showed you guys, where you put the hair in, rotate it 180 degrees and slide out. But I understand that it could be tricky for some people. So this is pretty much the same, but I think a lot easier in a way. So basically what you're gonna do is hold the iron and basically rotate the hair through, clamp, and then glide down. So it's almost a cheat's way. I don't think you get as much direction with this particular technique. So holding it like this, I'm gonna try going upwards, pulling the hair up and around like that, and then dragging out. I don't think it works as well, but it does work in a way. But I think it doesn't give you as more precise curls as if when you do it this way. But yes, that is definitely another technique and another way to curl your hair, worth having a play around with, definitely. There's probably heaps of food in my teeth. I just had lunch, it was awesome. So yeah, there you have it, Rainbows. I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what technique you guys have used. Also, let me know what kind of other hairstyling videos you want to see in the description box below. I do have some coming. Stay tuned, bear with me. They will be on their way. So yeah, very, very excited for that. Rainbows, I love you all, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.